Canelo getting closer to stepping back in the ring. We're making the rounds here on ESPN.com. Jim Basketball alongside Brian Campbell. Dan Raphael will join us in a moment. It's Canelo Alvarez, Erislandy Lara, July 12th in Las Vegas. So let's take a look ahead. And Brian, what can Canelo take away from the matchup with Mayweather against a fighter who's slick, like Mayweather, in Lara, in terms of the similarities of the two?
I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from that loss for Canelo. And most importantly for me, you got to have a plan B. Really, Canelo was almost naive in the way that he came in there looking really to outbox Mayweather, you know, the most elite boxer in the sport, trying to counter him from the outside. When that became apparent that that wasn't going to be something that would lead to success, we really never saw any kind of adjustments. Canelo cannot fall for that same kind of trap this time around. He can't think that he's going to clearly and just outbox Lara from start to finish. There needs to be more wrinkles in this game. There needs to be a backup plan if things don't go his way.
And look forward to it. Look forward to see how boxers adjust from fight to fight, even in fight. And ESPN boxing insider Dan Raphael, let's look at some common denominators here. They both have wins against Alfredo Angulo and Austin Trout. What can we learn from those victories?
I don't think we can learn a whole lot. And the reason is because if you take a look at the way that those fights went, Canelo had a very tough time against Austin Trout. It was a great victory for him, but a lot of people thought he lost the fight. It was a real tough night. But against Angulo, it was all Canelo. Total domination from start to finish until he stopped him. Now, if you take a look at the fights that Erislandy Lara had against those opponents, he had life and death with Alfredo Angulo until he stopped him late in the fight. And then you take a look at his fight against Austin Trout, just a totally one-sided whooping. So he had trouble with the guy that Canelo had an easy time with, and same with the other opponents. So they both have the wins, but they came about in different weird kind of ways. So I think we just got to throw those two opponents out the window and just say they have wins against them, and now let's see how they do against each other. I don't think they mean a whole lot.
All right, Brian. You know, let's say it goes to the scorecards. How does Canelo win a decision against a skilled opponent in Lara?
It's going to be by being well-rounded, Jim. I think if you're Canelo here, you got to take a little bit of what was good in his victory over Austin Trout, where he counterboxed from the outside, and a little bit of what was really good about what he did against Alfredo Angulo when he was the puncher, when he walked him down from start to finish. If he can mix up these two styles, I think he's going to have success, because when we see Erislandy Lara at its best, it's when he has an opponent who's coming forward, putting a lot of pressure on him. Lara can use that slickness to counter and really control the fight. I think Canelo's going to have his moments when he does rush, when he convinces the judges that he did enough in those rounds, but it's going to have to be a mixture of both, because you can't allow Lara to really get in a rhythm and get comfortable. He's just too skilled.
You're just looking to see Canelo diversify his game plan a little bit. Dan, what is your key to the outcome of this fight?
I think the most important thing, and it's really on Canelo because it's his show and he's the star, is that he has to show that he can deal with the slickness, with the quickness, with the defense that Lara possesses. You know, Lara's a really good fighter. He's not Floyd Mayweather, though. He can be hit. He's been dropped by Angulo 2 times. He's had other fights where he didn't look particularly good. He has a draw against Carlos Molina that a lot of people thought that he lost. So, you know, he can be beaten, and it's up to Canelo Alvarez to show that he can penetrate the defense. And I think that if Canelo gets in there and really tries to impose himself on it, it could be a tough night for Erislandy Lara.
Looking forward to this one. It's Canelo, it's Lara, it's July 12th, pay-per-view from Las Vegas. That is all our time, though. For Brian Campbell and Dan Raphael, I am Jim Basketball, and we are making the rounds right here on the boxing page of ESPN.com.